Hi, Cleo. Can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm a year 12 student in school. I live in Stoneville, which is a small community in the Perth Hills. I'm on 5 acres of Australian bushland, and it's about roughly 40 k's from the city of Perth. Stoneville is rated the fifth highest fire risk local region in Australia. So it's it definitely has its dangers and risks while living there in the summer with the bushfires. Um, I've lived there all my life. I'm 17 years old, so lived there my whole entire life. And I've experienced three major bushfires myself, which have all gotten worse over the years. The last one, which was about 12 weeks ago now, have been described as Perth's first climate change megafire and the worst bushfires in Perth Hills history. So it was a very scary experience. I had a few of my friends from my own school who lost their house, and people who lost their pets as well, like their dogs, livestock and everything. So they're only my age and younger, and they've already lost their house in this terrible fire that just happened. And people from 2014 are still the 2014 fires, Stoneville and Parkerville bushfires, which were very, very close to my house as well. And people are still recovering from them 7 years on. And it has a way bigger mental effects on people than I think those who haven't experienced realize, and just how like traumatizing and scary having to evacuate, having to, pack everything up from your house that you need and leave everything else that you can't take, behind. It's very stressful. The trauma that comes with it is huge, and the great loss that bushfires have in general is huge.
Oh, it's terrible to hear. Did you leave your house because of the fires?
So yeah, we evacuated in both the 2014 bushfires, and we were packing our cars at 2 a.m. in the morning. I own horses, so we were having to pack the horse float at 2 a.m. in the morning, keeping updated with all the bushfire alerts. And it was an ever-changing situation. Like 1 minute they were telling us one thing, the next they were telling us another thing. And it was just an ever-changing process and everything that was going on. And the winds were another thing, the 90-kilometre-per-hour winds that coming from all directions and everything. So it was a very, very scary experience indeed. So yeah, no, the bushfire plans are one thing that that the government and everything is really trying to push. And I think people have really started to realise how important having a plan really is, especially because this last bushfire, it spread from Warraloo, where it started, and it went all the way and almost reached Ellenbrook, which is a very suburban area, which was not expected. Warraloo and Ellenbrook are completely different environments and completely different opposite ends of each other. And this bushfire just completely went through absolutely everything it had in its path and wasn't stopping for anything. So,
Did the fires change something in you?
I think it really opened my eyes as to how bad climate change is really becoming, and how much people need to really start realizing that it's a real problem. It's not going to just miraculously fix itself and disappear overnight. And we really need to start, working towards just a better environment and everything, and more respect for the environment. There's a big development in my area, just 2 minutes down the road from me, that Australia's biggest developer for Satterley, called Satterley, they're trying to put 4,000 people in an extreme fire zone with about 2 exits, I think it is, out. And in a bushfire, 90% of the time, one of those roads will be closed, meaning that there will only be one escape for people. And the amount of devastation to the land that they will be causing, kangaroos, they've lived there for forever. There are wedge-tailed eagles, which are endangered birds in WA. There's a family of them in the area that they're wanting to wipe out and place over 1,000 houses. So this fighting to stop this development has been a major thing that's been going on for the last 2 years that I've been involved with it. And that's also really opened my eyes to how careful and how much more smarter we need to be about development. And there must be different planning for the future with climate change involved in consideration with it. So
I'm sure you are doing a wonderful job in saving the environment in your region. And do you think the fires influence others, like the media or something?
Well, I think because how far the fire reached, it reached, again, like suburban areas, which they're not usually, they've never thought about bushfires because they live in such a dense area where they think that they're protected. But this past bushfire that just happened clearly showed that it will burn through absolutely anything and anything it can in its path, and it won't stop for anything. And I think people have really realized that it is a major problem that we're having with our climate, and it needs to be addressed as soon as possible. Like, it should have been addressed ages ago, but I think this really opened a lot of people's eyes to realize that this is it's a whole world problem. It doesn't just revolve around the people who live in the bush, and it doesn't just revolve around the people who, live in the more dangerous climates, I guess. In the 2014 fires, after they happened, there were actually suicides after it because of the effect that it had on people and losing their house. So the long-term trauma that comes with it is just, it's crazy. Like, you wouldn't expect it.
Thank you. What image or sound event is most engraved in your heart from the fires?
I think the most major one for me was hearing the helicopters that carry the water that will drop them from the helicopters and put the fires out. I so clearly remember hearing them literally rumbling our house because of how low they have to fly, and running outside to see these helicopters coming over our house and dropping water on the fires. And I think that sound now, any helicopter that goes over our house, my family and I, we will go outside and check that it's not a water helicopter, and that it's just like a rescue helicopter. And it's just a habit now that we've had to get into. So that is one image for sure that's really engraved on my brain. So yeah. I think it's a very natural thing to feel frustrated and disappointed that these climate issues can't be fixed immediately, or to feel that your own family, for example, wouldn't understand it. But I think what we do from now on is what counts. And if we start now, I think that it's at least a start, and it can only, if we all can work together to be able to better the environment for everyone, because we're all in the same boat. It's like I said, it's a whole global thing. It's a whole global issue. And I think starting now and working hard is something that would really be beneficial and really help people to understand, because climate change is real and it is a very now issue, I guess. the fact that there are people out there now already doing things, and as Bella said, seeing other people doing something about it encourages them. I think the more that people get out and talk about it, domino effect of more people joining that and seeing that climate change is real, and that if we do something about it, we really can make progress with it. I think ultimately the science is there that climate change is real, and I think it's really up to our generation to drive this message and create this future for ourselves. So yeah, that's definitely my view on that. And I think this generation has such a drive compared to what we've seen before that is really passionate about this. And this Zoom meeting, for example, like this is already such a big step forward. And being able to talk to, you know, you in Israel and Bella in Canberra, like it's amazing that we're able to do this. And it's so great that, you know, this little step forward will be another step forward. I think seeing my generation and the young people that are really trying to make a difference about this, I think that gives me a little bit of hope. Well, it does give me hope that there are people out there trying to make a difference and trying to do the right thing by the planet and by the environment. And I would think that there are good humans out there, and I think there are good people that really do want to make a difference, and that's so amazing, like so great.